get low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And we're back with yet another installment of Murders at Karlov Manor spoilers. So starting off, we have 10th Street Gossip. A red, a green, and 2 for a 4/4 Viastino advisor with Vigilance. You can tap him to add a red and a green. Spend this mana only to cast face-down spells or to turn creatures face-up. Hoo-ha! This guy's pretty powerful. A 4/4 Vigilance for 4, which isn't bad. And you can get some Gruul mana to turn face-up spells. Hoo-ha. Next up, we have Unexpected Setback. 2 blue and 2 for instant that reads, owner target spell or non-land permanent puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Hoo-ha. Then we have Case File Auditor. A white and 2 for a 1/4 human detective. When it enters the battlefield, and whenever you resolve a case, look at the top 6 cards of your library. Reveal an enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. You can use mana as if it were mana of any color to cast case spells. So this is something that's definitely going to be in decks that are focused around case. And of course the white and the Azorius white blue deck is going to be about that. But it also, it's focused about resolving case, but you can reveal an enchantment card from among them. So you can tutor up some enchantments with that ability as well. So hoo-ha. Next up is Thinking Cap, one of the cards that's the one card has a tutor for. So it's a single mana for a artifact equipment. Creature gets +1/+2. You can equip a detective for 1 or regularly for 3. So hoo-ha. Then we have Soul and Veneration for a black and 3. You have an enchantment with flash. When Soul and Veneration enters the battlefield, target creature gets -4/-4 till end of turn. Ooh. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. So this thing could be, focused around collecting evidence and stuff. And you get to flash it in and give a -4 to a target creature. So it's pretty powerful. So instant spot removal, and some love for cards leaving the graveyard. Next up, we have Person of Interest, a red and 3 for a 2/2 human rogue. Person of Interest enters the battlefield suspected and create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. So, hoo-ha. We have Reasonable Doubt. A blue and 1 for an instant reads counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 generic. And then suspects up to 1 target creature. So a counter spell that plays into the suspect mechanic. That's interesting. Next up, we have Inside Source. So white and 2 for a 1/1 human citizen. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. Pay 3 tapping. Target detective you control gets +2/+0 till and gains vigilance till end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Well, that sounds kind of fun. Next up, we have Toxin Analysis. Black mana for an instant that reads, target creature gains Death Touch and Lifelink till end of turn and Investigate. That's pretty powerful for a single black mana. You get Death Touch and Lifelink till end of turn, and you get a clue token. So, hoo-ha. Next up is Breakout. There's a lot of words on this, so it's a red and green for sources that reads, top 6 cards of your library may reveal a creature card from among them. That card has mana value 2 or less. Put it onto the battlefield. It gains haste till end of turn. Oh dear, that turtle or that statue. It's the 1/10. That could be dirty. If you didn't put a revealed card onto the battlefield this way, put it into your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. This card is super powerful. You get to tune the top 6 cards of your library for a card with mana value 2 or less. There's a few of those. So, hoo-ha. Next up, we have Disturbing Explosion. A blue and a red and 2 for a sorcery that reads, draw 2 cards, then you may discard 2 cards. If you do, it deals damage to each creature where X is the total mana value of those cards. Ouch! Oh, that's gonna hurt. So 4 mana for a 2-card draw, and if you discard 2 cards, you deal X damage equal to their mana value. Ouch! To everyone. That's gonna feel good. Not. So we have Unlawful Masquerade. So it's a black and 3 for an enchantment with flash. When it enters the battlefield, put a counterfeit target on each creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with a counterfeit counter on it dies, exile it and return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this sounds like absolute banger fun with token creatures. You put your counterfeit counters on them and use them to either attack with or block and bring creatures back from your graveyard directly to the battlefield. Hoo-ha! This is entirely powerful. I like this card. Next up, we have Observant Onlooker. So for black and 1, you get what appears to be a 1/3 vampire citizen, maybe. It has flying, and for 2 black and 2, you can exile it from your graveyard and create 2 tapped 1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying. So if it dies, it has a graveyard ability, and This will go well in Bat Love decks. So hoo-ha. We have Double-Headed Leech. Black and 3 for a 2/4 Leech. Beginning combat on your turn, target creature you control with power 2 or less gets +1/+0 and Death Touch till end of turn. Ooh. Again, lots of weenie love in this set for certain. Hoo-ha. Then we have Vengeful Tracker. Red and 1 for a 2/2 human detective. Whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact, Vengeful Tracker deals 2 damage to them. Ooh. Of course, we had Classic Murder. It was told to us that this would appear in the set. So it's 2 black and 1 for an instant reads, destroy target creature. Next up, The Chase is On. Another detective type of trope. Red and 2 for an instant that reads, target creature gains +3/+0, gains first strike till end of turn, and investigates. That's pretty decent. Next up, we have Unauthorized Exit. A blue and 1 for an instant that reads, turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand and surveil 1. So a bounce spell with some surveil on it. Hoo-ha. Next up, On the Job. Another detective trope. 2 white and 2 for an instant that reads, creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn and investigate. So that's quite a nice thing. Next up, we have Audience with Trostani. Green and 2 for a sorcery that reads, create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then draw cards equal to the number of differently named creature tokens you control. So this is good in a creature token deck. Maybe something like Jetmir, especially if you have Jenny Faye. But again, some more plant love. Hoo-ha. Next up, Slice from the Shadows. This card is insanely powerful for a common. Pauper decks are gonna go absolutely nutso over this card. Even Pioneer decks. So it's a black and X for instant that reads, this spell can't be countered. Target creature gets -X till end of turn. More uncounterable spells in black. This is it. It makes it insanely powerful as a spot removal. You can't counter it, which means it also avoids the ward ability. So this thing will get played everywhere in black. This is going to be the high value common. I'm calling it now. Next up, we have Reenact the Crime. So 3 blue and 1 for instant that reads, exile target non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it, and you can cast a copy without paying its mana cost. So people are playing, this is definitely a graveyard hate card. It's insanely powerful, but you do have the 3 blue. But if you're playing blue, if you're playing a Spellslinger deck, you can steal your opponent's creatures for free. Next up, we have Coerced to Kill. So it's kind of a beefy blue, black, and 3 for an enchantment aura. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 1/1, has death touch, and is assassin in addition to its other types. I would think this card would be better if it had a flash on it, but it plays into the whole assassin deck strategy. So, hoo-ha. Next up, we have Anzrag's Rampage. That's the Mole God. So 2 red and 3 for sorcery that reads destroy all artifacts you don't control. Exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. You may put a creature card exiled this way on to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so you can put destroy all your opponent's artifacts, and you exile the top X cards, and you put a creature onto the battlefield, and it gains haste, and it bounces back to your hand at the beginning of the end step. So hoo-ha. Next up, we have World Soul's Rage. Red and green and X for a sorcerer that reads World Soul's Rage deals X damage to any target. Put up X land cards from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield tap. So, kind of a fireball extra land type card. Hoo-ha. Next up, we have Makeshift Binding. White and 2 for an enchantment that reads, when it enters the battlefield, exile target creature your opponent controls until Makeshift Binding leaves the battlefield, and you gain 2 life. This is more powerful than the one card I think we got. I think it was Dominator United, where it was a white and 3. Next up, we have Make Your Move. So, a white and 2 for an instant that reads, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. So, some versatility there. Except we have Cold Case Cracker. A blue and 3 for a 3/3 Spirit Detective with flying. When it dies, investigate. Then we have Cerebral Confiscation. A black and 2 for a sorcerer that reads, choose one. opponent discards 2 cards, or target opponent reveals their hand and chooses an online card from it. That player discards that card. So they can discard 2 cards of their choice or 1 card of your choice. We have Unscrupulous Agent, a black and 1 for a 1/1 elf detective. When enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. Yeah, more hand hate. Then we have Suspicious Detonation, a red and 4 for a sorcery that reads, this spell costs 3 generic less to cast if you sacrificed an artifact this turn. This spell can't be countered. Suspicious Detonation deals 4 damage to target creature. Ouch! We have Familiar Day 4 or Forum Familiar for a 1 white mana. You get a 1/1 cat. Has Disguise for a white and 1. When it enters the battlefield, return target permanent that you control to its owner's hand, and put a +1/+1 counter on it on Foreign Familiar. Okay, so you get to bounce something and put a +1/+1 counter on this. So hoo-haw. Excuse me, when it's turned face up, not when it enters the battlefield. So again, disguising it is key to that. So Perimeter Enforcer for a white and 1, you get a 1/1 human detective. Whenever another detective enters the battlefield under your control, and whenever a detective you control turns face up, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So that's all the spoilers we have for today. We're at, oh, hello. I didn't expect another spoiler. So we have Niv Mizzet Guild Path. So Woober, white, blue, black, red, green for a 6/6 legendary dragon avatar with flying and hexproof for multicolor. When it deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards, you gain X life, where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. Ew. This thing is pretty powerful for... I'd slot this in your Ur-Dragon deck. And you could, this could be, especially if you're playing multicolored deck or with Leyline of the guild pack, this thing is gonna be crazy. So hoo-ha. Well, we're at 24 minutes. We need to end this video. We'll say hoo-ha. We'll see you on the next video.